Hi, my name is Laura Freytag. I completed the Leadership Experience project utilizing my current place of employment as the project site. Sabey Corporation was founded in 1975 by Dave Sabey. It is a commercial real estate development company that is nationally recognized. There are just over 150 employees. The corporate office is located in Seattle, Washington, with remote locations in Quincy and East Wenatchee, Washington, Manhattan, New York, and Ashburn, Virginia. There are also several employees that work remotely from their homes. Over the past 6 years, there have been various employee and organizational development activities that provided interaction between leadership and employees, as well as interaction between the departments. An underlying message coming out of these activities is that the organization does not communicate well. Specifically, employees do not believe the senior leadership team communicates well with the rest of the organization. The Leadership Experience project provided an opportunity to gain an understanding of employees' perceptions of communication within the organization, as well as use research to understand why communication from leadership is important to the health of the organization. Some employees have expressed the belief that the senior leadership team does not communicate well with the rest of the organization. The senior leadership team is viewed as unapproachable, and as a result, employees do not feel that they always have the information that they need to be successful. In contrast, the members of the senior leadership team feel that they are very approachable, and that employees who need information or have questions should take the initiative to get the information needed. This has created a communication gap between leadership and employees. Employees feel that departments are siloed, cross-department communication is inadequate, and information is not shared freely with the information who need it, on top of the leadership and employee communication gap. Concerns over communication have been raised by employees in various forums over the past several years. The purpose of the Leadership Experience project is to identify and address factors contributing to a perceived communication gap within the organization. The research question of the Leadership Experience project is, how can leadership and employees improve communication to create an environment where information is shared freely for the benefit of everyone on the Sabey team? Sartorius described effective leadership as directing the whole of company resources and noted that leadership can determine the behavior of its employees. Guzel notes that leaders have a role in improving relationships with employees, as well as exciting team creativity to meet the organization's performance goals. Guzel reiterated that leadership effectiveness is one person's behavior impacting the behavior of others to meet organizational goals. An effective leader understands and includes employees by building relationships and establishing trust and respect between the parties. Communication within the organization is quoted by Sartorius as relationship or interaction between superiors and subordinates as downward communication, or from the subordinates to superiors as upward communication, or among fellow workers, which is horizontal communication, and or communication across channel in order to achieve organizational or individual goals. Guzel notes that open communication allows for relationships to build, help individuals understand expectations from each other, increase productivity, and reduce conflict. Internal communication is a central process by which employees share information, create relationships, make meaning, and construct organizational culture and values, as quoted by Men. It is incumbent upon leaders to set the example for employees on how to behave and how to effectively communicate. Effective communication molds an employee's perception of the organization and understanding of what they are working towards, as described by Abu Gray. Abu Gray also describes leadership's communication towards employees not only improves work performance, good and interpersonal communication with employees creates a sense of ownership towards the organization and increases employees' satisfaction. This increased ownership leads to creative thinking and employees feeling open to share their ideas for improvement. The Leadership Experience project, with the help of the site supervisor, allowed for a look at the communication problem within the organization and provided a way to ask employees what their satisfaction level related to communication is and what improvements could be made. As part of the Leadership Experience Project, a Likert survey was utilized to allow employees to express their satisfaction or dissatisfaction of the communication within the organization. The survey included 4 open-ended questions in which those surveyed provided their suggestions for communication improvement. Those surveyed were able to volunteer for a semi-structured interview in which they were able to share their personal experiences based on their tenure within the organization. The survey was sent to 147 employees, excluding the senior leadership team. Of the 147 employees surveyed, we received a 47% response rate, or a total of 69 responses. 71% of those responses indicated they were satisfied or very satisfied with overall communication within the organization. 68% were satisfied or very satisfied with communication from the senior leadership team. 84% were satisfied or very satisfied with communication from their manager. And 72% were satisfied or very satisfied with communication with their department. The results of the open-ended questions provided insight into a few of the symptoms the organization experiences. Employees expressed that they are often unaware of who all their fellow employees are and do not always know who to include in meetings. As a result of not knowing roles and responsibilities, employees kick off projects or schedule meetings and do not always know who to include. Stemming from this, the employees that are not included feel that they are not given the information they need to complete their work. Another symptom is the internal meeting. Internal meetings are generally not viewed as important as external meetings and are often skipped to the point of the meeting falling off the calendar. This leaves employees feeling as if internal communication is not important, no formal way to share project information, and overall miscommunication on projects. Employees also voice that they do not get enough face-to-face time with their managers, other departments, and the senior leadership team. A lack of face time with the senior leadership team induces uncomfortableness approaching the senior leadership team with questions or concerns unless a previous relationship had been established. The Leadership Experience Project is intended to take the results of the survey and determine possible solutions to improve communication within the organization. Solutions to improve communication include the publish and dissemination of an organizational chart, increase face-to-face communication by encouraging employees to walk over and ask questions rather than emailing or calling, and equipping employees with technology to video chat remote locations in lieu of a phone call. Another solution is encouraging learning and development through attending meetings. Employees are open to attend meetings that will help them gain a better understanding of the organization and how their roles tie to the overall goal of the organization. Fife Mills stated that employees want more than information shared with them via emails or town hall meetings. Employees want two-way communication. They want to feel seen and heard by leaders and an opportunity to show the leaders that they are contributing towards the organization's goals. With this, employees want opportunities to engage with the senior leadership team. Employees would like the senior leadership team to take the time to step out of their office more and engage with employees in the office, to visit and engage at job sites more, and when at remote locations, take a moment to engage with employees at those locations. To do that, the senior leadership team traveling to those remote locations will arrange time within their travel schedule to meet with the on-site employees. To facilitate interaction with corporate office employees, a recurring forum will be set up, either monthly or quarterly, in which members of the senior leadership team will host a chat and be available to answer questions from employees. The senior leadership team will also make an intentional effort to step out of their offices to walk around and talk with and engage employees. This will increase their visibility in the office and will begin relationship building. To encourage face-to-face interaction with other employees, employees will be encouraged and reminded to walk over to another employee's desk if there are questions or discussion, rather than using email as the main form of communication within the organization. To extend this to remote locations, webcams will be provided to all employees, as well as Microsoft Teams installed on all computers with training provided. Microsoft Teams is a program that allows for text chatting with an individual or group, as well as allows for video chatting, in which the webcam allows for everyone to physically see each other as if they're talking face-to-face. As the organization has 4 remote locations, as well as several employees who telecommute, the use of video chatting replaces face-to-face communication, and this allows for employees to connect across distances, strengthens working relationships, allows for impromptu meetings, helps remote employees do their job better, and is more personal than a phone call or an email, as noted by Jingarov. Following submittal of the Leadership Experience Project, solution implementation will include scheduling a time on the senior leadership team's bi-weekly meeting to present the assignment, the theory, and the survey results. The recommended solutions will be shared with an emphasis that this is a shared effort across all levels that will be driven by the senior leadership team and discuss their impressions of the information. Once shared, a week will be spent talking to each member of the senior leadership team to understand communication from their perspective and incorporate this information into the overall message shared. An all-company email will be sent sharing the results of the survey, the outcome of the senior leadership review, and the steps to implement the various solutions. From there, we will work with the marketing department to disseminate the organizational chart to employees and find the best way to keep it up to date and changes continually shared. We will also coordinate with the IT department to determine how many webcams are needed, make sure Microsoft Teams is installed on all computers, and provide program training to the organization. A change strategy will be developed to manage the various changes and express the urgency on why change is needed. The leadership models that apply to improvement of communication in an organization are leader-member exchange and transformational leadership. Leader-member exchange is the exchange relationship the leader develops with the follower as the follower's role and expectations are defined. This is as noted by Uckel and Upal. Leader-member exchange relationships are formed by communicative acts and the importance communication plays in building relationships with the workplace, as written by O'Million, Hodges, and Baker. Both leader and followers' attitudes and behaviors are impacted by the reciprocal change in the quality of the relationships, as described by Geertius, Morrison, and Cooper-Thomas. Gotti and Yamarian reflected that at the center of the leader-member exchange theory is the social interactions that indicate the quality of relationship between the leader and follower. As this relates to communication, it is important for the leader to develop the relationships with the members to improve the relationship and create a high-quality exchange. Transformational leadership is one that has the best interests of the company in mind, but helps to build employee skill, confidence, and morale within employees, encouraging others to work towards the higher goal of the organization, as quoted by Johnson. Transformational leaders create an environment of innovation and creativity and develops and coaches employees towards the goal of the organization. The transformational leader understands what drives and motivates people and have trust and confidence in followers, and in turn sets standards for the followers to see, as described by Rao. Jensen and Maynahan note that it is important that leaders share and sustain the vision of the organization and communicate in a way that employees understand. The most effective way to communicate and sustain a vision is through face-to-face dialogue or two-way communication. The two-way communication between leaders and followers enhances the followers' connection to the goal of the organization. As this ties back to communication, it is important to have that two-way communication, that face-to-face communication with the senior leadership team stepping out of their office, and the face-to-face communication between employees by adding in video chatting and webcams and encouraging employees to go walk over and talk to another employee. Overall, this project has a long-range impact on the organization as a first step in understanding employees' communications needs, how they want to be communicated with, receiving approval from a member of the senior leadership team to pursue this project indicates that the senior leadership team is interested in understanding the communication challenges that have been discussed over the past few years. The project provides a baseline on communication satisfaction as well as solutions for improvement. By providing the results, solutions, and process of implementation to employees, it is strong communication that this is important, it will be worked on, and not just part of a school project. Understanding the communication needs of employees is also an example of Savvy's core values to do the right thing, encourage individual initiative, pioneer with urgency, tenacity, passion, and common sense, accelerated lifelong learning, build long-term relationships, and create esprit de corps. An organization that seeks to understand organizational challenges and improve itself and improve sets itself to be built to last into the future. As for a personal reflection, I am humbled and appreciate that the employees have been willing to take my survey and sit down to speak to me on a personal issue that people have that feel strongly about. So it has meant a lot to me to be able to pursue this project and help make an impact into the future. Thank you for your time.